Welcome in, everyone, to another edition, Week 16 edition, Bully the board meeting. As always, Kevin, Seth, and Steve with you for this week.
What up?
Ain't no time like the present.
Sheesh.
I don't want to dwell on the past too much, but that's part of it's part of each board meeting. We sort of review the minutes of
Yeah.
last week and
The
approve or
yeah.
disapprove everything that went down. So let's jump into week 15. It was unfortunately a rough week for the model for the picks here. So there was I want to get your actually thoughts on a couple of Seth, because right off the bat, the Panthers -2.5. I forget which book you got it at minus or at -107.
Points bet. I think points bet. I got it at 2.
Okay, so
I got it at 2 at 107 is what I ended up getting it at, but it moved to 2.5.
They lost outright to the Steelers, and maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but I thought the model assumed that Pickett was going to start, and he didn't. Right?
Yeah, and we moved forward anyways. But I was thinking about this; it wouldn't have mattered because the lower confidence interval for that was -2. Steelers we would have. Well, I guess I'm wrong there. Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember actually at the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. It's just one of those things. We've had a couple of these games over the course of the season where it was whether it was a starter an issue or some other technical basically matter that where we should or shouldn't have counted on the record, because we talked about it all week and we disclaimed it leading up to that Kenny Pickett had to start in order for this to be a bet. He didn't start, but it's a bet for this purposes here. So they lost outright to the Steelers. They were looking pretty good, but Steelers and Trubisky, I don't know, he comes alive. Steve, as a Bears fan, like, did that just piss you off to see him like do that once in a while?
No, I mean, listen, as a board member, I definitely didn't like that. But as a Bears fan, mystery loves company, and I'm not above admitting that. So it was good to see the world suffer the way I've had to suffer for all these years. So no.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so I mean, it was good, and we talked about it last meeting too, sort of a hedge, if you will, against our futures bet, which we'll get into a sec here. So it wasn't all necessarily bad news that the Panthers lost, but nonetheless, the Steelers take them down. So the next one, Bucks +4.5 against the Bengals. Shit, talk about a tale of two halves. This game was wild, Steve. Did you catch this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, and it was funny. So behind the scenes, guys, we, as any degenerate gambler would know, if you bet long enough, you will have a heartbreak loss, and when you have a heartbreak loss, you will become self-conscious, like, oh, hey, don't say shit until it's over. Yeah. And I was watching this game, and the Bucks, they're up like 17 at one point, or
17-0.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm not gonna text the group. I'm not gonna text the group. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna jinx it. And sure enough, that second half was absolutely brutal, man.
You thought you had the thought, so it's like you might as well have texted the group,
Yeah, well, you know what? Because really, what I wanted to text, it was just the Bucks pick. I was like, told you, motherfuckers, Bengals 0-4. They're going 0-4 the rest of the way.
Yeah, I know. That would have set up great, because like we all hated this pick. We all hated the Bucks pick, know. And for a half there, we were like, oh shit, well, whatever. But yeah, it just, man, the Bucks are, and we'll talk a little bit more on the efficiency landscape portion of this as well.
I'm surprised you guys aren't over, or like this was some of the worst bad beats since week 2.
Yeah.
Singletary goes down.
Well, okay, I didn't even get to the bad beats yet. We haven't really got to the bad beats yet.
Oh, I get it. So, I'm downloading that as a bad beat. 17. Literally, I don't remember off the top of my head. Tom Brady never zero times lost up 17 at half. Zero times.
Right.
Statistically,
that's before
run some regression on
came
that.
to town, baby.
Dude, JB. But dude. Shit. This week.
Speaking of fucking Burrow, go. Okay, Bills and the Dolphins in Buffalo. It wasn't quite the snowy game. Like there was pictures of the day of the game. Like shit was under snow, which I was kind of disappointed when it kicked off. But nonetheless, frigid ass game in Buffalo. Back and forth kind of affair. But yeah, this 100% qualifies as a bad beat, man. I was watching that shit live. I was like, come on, just fucking punch it in. You're right there, you son of a bitch,
Well, to your point, though, it wasn't snowing until it was, and it was snowing crazy bad. So that field goal is not a normal field goal situation. Take the touchdown. They had what, like 30 seconds or something like that. You cannot. It is very difficult to run down the field and be throwing bombs all day in a blizzard in the snow. Same with kicking the ball. How he doesn't just get the 6 there, like in this. I get it. It's smart in a non-blizzard, but in a blizzard, that's probably the smarter play. So I don't feel so bad because at least like they were trying to protect the game. So it's like, okay, good for them. But like, God, man, why?
Yeah, it was brutal.
You didn't even get the first down. At least get the first down.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, I was defeated at that point because I was out to dinner. There happened to be a TV on at the restaurant or whatever.
Oh my!
And I just look over. I'm like, you absolute son of a bitch. Yeah. So whatever, one of those things. And then the next, the Cowboys one for me though, -2.5 here. This one was far worse in my opinion.
God. Oh my God.
I mean,
I
was not able. Go ahead.
I forget if it was Parsons or like the linebacker or the safety. Like literally, it was that close for us to cover. Like Trevor Lawrence threw the ball through like a window like that, where the defenders like going by, and then there's on third down. They had the Lawrence fumbles it. They recover. First down, second down, and third down. They try to go for a 30-yard bomb when the first down won the game. What the fuck, Dallas?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I will say that doubly hurt for me for everything that Seth just said. But I'm fantasy playoffs at this time of year, and I had CeeDee Lamb. I lost my fantasy playoff first round spot by 0.1 points. 0.1 points is what I lost by.
CeeDee Lamb first down.
Over? Yeah, well, I'm thinking like it's overtime. So like everything you said, like, okay, if it's gonna go to overtime, fine. Cowboys get the ball and start overtime. CeeDee's getting a touch. CeeDee's getting a catch on this drive for sure. And then pick 6. So
yeah, it was. I was sick. I was fucking sick. But whatever. Moving on. I disapprove of that.
We should talk about it. I think I guess we got to give thanks. I mean, we hit on the most improbable comeback of all time.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Yeah. This is the ultimate bad beat for everyone else.
Yep. Yeah, this shit was wild.
We washed it down with 3 bad beats of our own. So I don't know that like our ratio still ain't right. I don't care what anybody says, but it's pretty wild. That one win is the most improbable comeback.
Right.
I know, like that talk about, I don't know if you want a microcosm of this season in both in terms of like the NFL at large, plus kind of how things have been going with some of the model picks. I would say like the most improbable type of shit, just happens to be one where we hit on, but to your point, Seth, like is unfortunately on the heels or coming right before a bunch of other things that don't go our way. So 33-point comeback, right? Largest ever in the history.
33, of the NFL. 33 and a half, 33-0.
I mean, the shit was absolutely wild. Like I turned that thing off. I don't know if you guys. I turned that shit off at halftime. I checked back in like middle of the fourth quarter. I'm like,
okay. I had it set up. I was like working on stuff right here, and I literally put a small TV right, and I'm like working on shit, and I'm just like looking. I'm like, oh, they scored that. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I never, like I'm not gonna get. I'm getting fucked. Of course, I'm getting fucked. And like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, I look up right when then Cook like busts like an 80-yard run for no reason. Like they just like didn't want to tackle him. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, maybe we could do this.
All right.
Yeah, next thing you know. But
even in the 6.5 at overtime, I'm like, oh, like some fuck shit could happen because they don't kick PAT. So I'm like, should be good, but technically, man, in this game, like I can just see.
You never know. So yeah, that was a wild game, obviously, and like the Vikings, man, they were again for 3 quarters of that. I saw the tweet storms, I saw the posts and everything where biggest frauds, X, Y, and Z. We've talked about that too here, and then some of the metrics do back that up that the Vikings aren't really as potent as their record might indicate. But
we're gonna be.
Yeah, give him credit, man. Give him credit. I mean, I don't care who you're playing against. Like that's tough to do. So,
yeah, I think I saw something that was. I mean, we think we're bad. I won't be able to get it right off the top of my head, but I can get the most of it. Matt Ryan has the worst Super Bowl comeback, the worst regular season comeback, most international game comeback, and there was one other one. I'm like, damn, dude,
Jesus,
this dude just like,
what kind of
get him away
football
from the
karma
model.
did
He
do?
needs to
Like,
retire so we can get his name out of the database. Just because it's just like corrupt.
okay, yeah, football guys
Poor
do
guy.
not look lightly upon him. Yeah, that's pretty funny,
Guess not,
but
man.
that's brutal.
Poor
So,
guy.
yeah, tough week, weird week, strange week, but whatever. We move on. So you see again the model record there for this year, 29.46, 500 for the last 7 weeks. So we move on. Ain't no thing. So futures though through week 15, rather interesting week for I'll say 3 of them. So again, we already locked up the Colts. The Panthers though, we got fortunate, I guess, in that respect. So they only got to go 500. Or not 500. They got to go
300, right? Or there's 3 games.
Yeah, there's 3 games left. They got to go 2-1, which I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I still think is going to be difficult for them.
They play Detroit this week. They play. Thank God they play Tampa Bay next week, not the last week, and then the Saints the last week. So
yeah, so
I think if we get out of this week with a loss, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not counting this one either way for me. But the Bucks, man, this was looking good for a half, but Steve.
Bengals going 3.
Time of death.
Bengals going 3 the rest of the way. Yeah.
All right,
it's crazy. We can only push. This looks so good. This looks really so good. What was like week 6? We're like, oh man, they suck.
Yeah. Well, what's wild is that the Bengals had a very easy front-loaded schedule. I thought they were supposed to cruise and then struggle here. They struggled with the easy part, and they're doing the hard part well. It's like, what is going on?
Sounds like me in life. I don't know, dude. They look good though. They look good. I've been looking at some numbers. They look good. I don't know. Yeah.
It's Bills, Ravens, and I forget who else they have. Who's their third game?
They play New England this week.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
they play New England this week.
Yeah. They play New England.
Yeah. So that's a kind of a perfect segue into the next one. So you're talking about another bad beat.
Oh my! Dude, for no tell reason. Me about it.
For no reason.
Absolutely no reason. That shit pissed me off so bad. Specifically because of the futures play that we had. I was like, okay, whatever. They were up. They were up. They needed that win. Touchdown with like a minute and a half, whatever it is. They let the Raiders score. Oh, I mean, what do you say about that?
Looked
they were wildest things in the fucking world.
They were getting their ass kicked in the first half. They were playing terrible, and then they turned it on a second, or maybe Raiders blew it second half. Honestly,
Raiders suck in the second half. I don't know what goes on there.
And like tie game, just fuck. This looked like the worst Bill Belichick team of all time. Like everyone says, oh, they're well coached, this and that. Like this looked so bad. So that was tough pill to swallow.
In insider baseball, remember when we ran the model in August? It was like August or July. We quantify if teams get a new offensive coordinator, but we were on the fence on what to do with New England, and we're like, so we ran it with and without. So with having a new one, it was 8.4, so technically wouldn't meet the criteria, or 8.6 or something like that. And then, but without assuming there was no new offensive coordinator, it was a bet. So we're like, let's just go with it. And man, it's literally going to come down to that. Like, it's going to come down to they're probably going to win 8 games. They probably win one of these games, and they might not. But they feel like they'll have a shot up against the Dolphins. But we were right there. Yeah. It was that game, and basically for no reason.
Right.
No, absolutely no reason at all. So I to your point, Steve, I think the Patriots or the Raiders let them back into it, but when you look at the totality of it, I'm not really sure Patriots had any business winning that game anyway. They just didn't play very well.
Did you guys get to watch that last play? I mean, look, I'm not going to act like I had all the evidence, but from what they showed on TV, it did not look like a touchdown. It looked like there was enough evidence to overturn the Raiders scored with like 20 or 30 seconds left to tie.
Yeah, with that foot out of bounds touchdown. Yeah, I saw that.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Fucking
But,
man. So
hey.
brutal, bad, another bad beat there. And then the Saints, they tease us basically at this point. Like they're not gonna, they got to go undefeated the rest of the way to push, which I find that it will be highly unlikely that they do.
Although maybe we get some stuff in our way, because this week they play. Who do they play this week? They play a team.
The Saints play the Browns.
Football Browns. Team. Okay. If they won, would you be that surprised? Kind of. But okay. Then they play the Panthers. We need them to win. We need a lot. So, and then they play the Eagles, and maybe the Eagles have nothing to play for, and they're set.
The Eagles most definitely won't have anything to play for. I feel pretty confident in that, because even if the Eagles lose to Dallas this weekend,
so they got to beat the Browns. They got to beat. They got to beat the Browns. They got to beat Carolina, and then they got to beat probably a Hurtsless, a lot of starters sitting Eagles.
Right. Yeah. You never know. And I still feel this way.
If Steve can believe in the Bengals going under, I can believe in this thing pushing.
I still kind of hold that same hope for the Patriots too. I mean, they absolutely they should have won that one, but Miami, I think is going to be
sitting.
Huh?
Is it Bill sitting? Is that kind of your theory?
Right, Bill sitting at the end, week 18, and then if they can grab it out the hat either this week or next week against Miami, it's right there. It's right there. So, not ready to write off any of the other ones yet, but yeah, teetering on the verge of a fear. So we'll have maybe some more concrete, I don't know, check marks or X's, so to speak, wins or losses next board meeting.
Push would be big.
Yeah.
It would be. Okay, let's get into a little bit on the efficiency landscape stuff here. So this is EPA data through week 15.
Yeah.
All going into week 16 here. So
yes, sir.
I find it fascinating how the Vikings have virtually not moved at all in the past 4 weeks, essentially. And kind of remain to be that anomaly.
Well, because as you get more plays, aka more games, like you really are just going to play like your average. I mean, that's the whole point of using a large data set. Well, you look at the 4 here in a minute, but that's why you don't see a whole lot of movement at the end at this point in the season, because teams are playing relative. Now, to point that out, that you can see how well the Lions actually have done, because they over the last couple of weeks they've really pulled away from that pack. And then they've also gotten a little bit better defensively. So for them to be able to do that on the total EPA scale is actually quite impressive.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. But yeah, to that point, Lions, what are they, like 6-1 last 7, or they started 1-6? I forget what they're on fire. The record is. They are, Dan the man.
I don't know. Yeah, and they played an all right schedule. Like they haven't played like the shittiest teams in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tampa Bay, I don't know. We saw life from them. That was a weird, interesting half. I was pretty blown away. I'm not really sure where that came from, but like I've been saying, look at the Bengals. They're right at where the Bills are.
Yeah.
And that's pretty scary. I mean, I have the net EPAs up in front of me. Cincinnati is one spot. They're 0.5 points net EPA below Buffalo. And both of those teams are 2 points below Kansas City net. But you can see that their defenses are way better than Kansas City, and Kansas City offense is way better. So it's like pick your poison in the playoffs. What do you think you're going to kind of get there? Right. So I don't know. The AFC, though, I guess it's the tale of those 3 teams in both NFC, AFC, right?
Dude, for the next damn near decade, probably, really, barring any
young guys, huh?
Yeah, those 3, man. Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, like that's a sick lineup. Let's put it that way.
For real.
So, yeah, anything jump out of you, Steve, through week 15 or from any of the teams here?
No, not from the overall standpoint. I think, like Seth said, these teams are pretty much who we thought they were. It will be interesting to see how San Francisco moves with Purdy in terms of offensive EPA, but I'm excited for the playoffs, man. This is going to be it's cool to look at this objectively and see how these things play out in real time. You know what I mean? So that may be the nerd side of me, but I love this.
No, I mean, and to that point too. So looking at the last 4 weeks, and looking at the EPAs per team here. So this one of the things that I would say struggling with, but I think I guess that I find fascinating, and I can't tell, is the Bills right behind the Panthers there, or is that somebody else?
Panthers.
Panthers are right down the
Yep.
x-axis in the middle there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, the Panthers, for again, as sort of dead to rights as we thought they were, like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 other teams in ahead of them in terms of offensive EPA. Like they're doing well, and Sam Darnold has been the guy behind center, largely responsible for most of that.
Well, it's actually their running game. They actually have a really great running EPA. That's really driving that offensive.
That's
EPA
the driver.
overall.
Yeah.
Christian who?
But he's not fucking it up, which is the most Sam Darnold thing you would bet on, to be honest. So I mean, good for him. Who doesn't love a comeback story? And he got injured preseason. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's the $1 billion question. San Francisco and Purdy, like, no one wants to see that defense, and that run offense is legit. And Purdy, 2 games in, is doing work.
As cool
I don't know.
as a cucumber, man. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
That's pretty wild.
The Hurts thing is interesting. I didn't get a chance to look too deep into the conspiracy here, but maybe you guys heard it. Maybe you know more. There's some like conspiracy theory that goes like, overall, I think Hurts did get hurt. I don't know that he's injured enough to play, but like it hurts. No pun intended, I guess. But there's like the conspiracy that if right now, the Dallas would play, I think it's the Vikings, but if they win one more game and then they both win out, so basically the Eagles lose this game, but then they both win out, it's most probable that the Cowboys would have to play the 49ers, which is that's a pretty big deal for them if they can knock one of those teams out.
Right. So the fix is in. The tank is on. The tank.
Kind of, whatever you want to call it. I think he probably did get hurt. And they're like, fuck, if double whammy? I don't know.
Right.
I always think like, are they actually that smart? But maybe they are.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, listen, like people are paying how much money for analytics and data in the NFL now? I'm sure that's come up on some higher up's desk, right? Like, hey, by the way, this is what it's looking at. And you're right. I mean, hey, why rush Jalen back, potentially risk re-injury to win a couple games, and your prize of doing all that is to play San Francisco in the first round, or your first game,
throwing shoulder. I mean, like, it's a real, it's I don't know, interesting, but no one wants to play them right now.
No,
you're right about that, and I don't think the quadrant of woe has changed much. And I think I said this last meeting that I thought the Giants were. I don't think they changed much in terms of their positioning, but I thought they were the
game last week. But
you went about questionable calls. That Giants.
There was some phony baloney-ness going on there, man. I don't know. I've seen it. I'm sure you guys saw it too, but I don't know. That was a bizarre game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. It's always fascinating to look at this stuff, even if it's just in a snapshot.
We haven't called it out. You can leave it here, or even go back. The Jags are fucking like a good team. Like the Jags are going to be a really good team in the next. They're probably going to run AFC South like next year.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Not that wild to fathom.
Trevor Lawrence is getting pretty good, and then I mean the Colts are dead, and then Titans are just, who the fuck knows who the Titans are this year? They've been a wild team, but Tannehill, I don't know how much Tannehill can, like, how many immaculate, like, he can avoid, dying and then come back like damn near Jesus.
Well, yeah, and I mean Henry's not getting any younger either.
No, right? And you put more, mileage. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they've been a competitive team, and they're going to be legit.
Dougie P, man. Dougie P's got some tricks up his sleeve. I think he knows what he's doing.
He has turned that franchise around. So good for them. And yeah, that'll be an interesting team to watch, and maybe a really we could see them catapult in next season to a really elite team because their division, like all of a sudden now they go from like little brother to be like taking steroids. Now, like if you get to play a shitty Colts, a shitty Houston, and a shitty Tennessee twice every year,
yeah.
Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah,
we may be hearing a lot of Duvals. Oh damn.
No, proceed.
Okay. All right. Well, any other hot takes
over there?
Zero Dark 30. All to a different level.
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah, I will say I'm a little surprised, and this is just being from NFC North. Green Bay off. I mean, we knew their defense was trash, but it really just seemed like Aaron's been doing anything. And now Dillon and Jones have been killing us. Maybe that's really driving the offensive EPA for Green Bay's run game. But I was a little shocked to see how far up they were. But yeah, no, not much for my take.
But they also played LA. They played they played some pretty bad teams in that stretch. Chicago, or not bad teams, but also just bad defenses.
Yeah,
that's the problem with using the 4. It makes it look like teams are better than they are.
Yeah. Sure. Now, what I will say, I do want to see what happens with Denver. Now, it's a small sample size, but with Russ out with the concussion, it was Ripien, right? Like it is ripping. Yeah, he's ripping and roaring. Is that going to be? Are they a better
Is Ripien
team?
going to play this week?
Yeah,
he's still out. 2 weeks.
I don't know. Good question. I do not know.
I ran the model with what's his face.
But they played the Cards last week. I would not, take everything that the model says or the numbers say with a grain of salt. Cardinals.
Yeah, but I mean, Russ hasn't played a stout defense every week. You know what I mean? Sure. It's just a small sample size for sure.
Yeah.
Well, should I get off the pot? If I'm not mistaken, this is basically the last. This is like the definition of marriage. If they don't cut Russ this season, they owe Russ a lot of money. But this technically is the last window, if I'm not mistaken, because that new extension doesn't go into in effect till next year. So it legitimately, small sample size, but it is should get off the pot because if you don't, you could. I think if you cut him this season, you owe him $10 million. But basically after that, you owe him like hundreds of million, even if he doesn't play and you cut him.
Right?
Is it fuck? You may just take. But the thing, it's not. It's really not balls because it's new owner. So he's I don't fuck you. Here's $10 million. This is Sam Wall or whatever Walmart money. This is
come on,
yeah. They just throw a couple new socks up there and they can cover that.
All right. Efficiency landscape.
A bunch of Brett Rippin shirts and then they can cover it.
Okay. All right. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. All right. So we had a bad week with the model output, which means, Steve, we had a good week in circa, I guess, somewhat unfortunately,
a bad week.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So for those who just first time joining, we're trying to tank in the circa league because we were closer to last place than first place, and they're surprised me at the bottom. So last week we had Dolphins +7, Steelers +2.5, Jags +3.5, Bengals -3.5, and Packers -7. For those who keeping score at home, we went 5-0. So
felt good though.
Yeah, right. And so now, overall in the total season standings, we're kind of stranded in this no man's land where, we were pretty close to the bottom when we were intentionally trying to tank, and now we've sort of regressed back to this middle land. Now, what's interesting here is it time to, everyone says like, everybody watch those like those heist movies, like there's always a twist or like, a double cross. Is it time to double cross the double cross? Because we so they have prizes for the overall season standing, right? But they also have quarterly prizes. So we're now in quarter 4. Right. We're 2 weeks in. We're 8-2 for quarter 4. We're tied for we're tied for 6th and 6th place. But everyone is there's only a couple 10-0s, and it's mostly 8-1s and 9-1s and 8-2s, which is where we're at right now. So like we gotta try.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
We're right. We're right in the thick of it. So
and there's nothing that dictates this, but end of the season is usually when we see we have like a perfect week or something like this. So
yeah. So there's 3 people right now that's 10-0 after 2 weeks. And then there are a couple of 9-0-1s and 9-1-0s, right? So no matter how you split it, we're 2 games back out of first place. But
there's only
everyone's
15
right
picks left.
Yeah, exactly. So
does that mean we still fade the model?
Well, I think now we fade the fade. I mean,
yeah, we ride the model, and Brett Rippon we trust.
Yeah,
is it even Brett Rippon? Is it? I don't even know if his first name's Brett. Sounds like a Brett. He looks like a Brett.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's fascinating. Yeah, I mean, fuck, Circa, man. This shit's been interesting. But yeah, that's quarter price. Here we come. What's that? 25K, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know the deal. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, jumping ahead because we got to get rolling through some things here. Week 16
Brett
model
Rippon.
predictions here. 3 of them for you. Niners -7,
Yeah.
Falcons +7.5, which we have it there. Assumes Tyler Huntley starts, which I think he's on track to for the Ravens.
Lamar didn't practice today.
Okay, so I think on track for Huntley still, and then Giants +4.5, and I think all of these are consensus market spreads right now. I think maybe the Falcons might be 7. You might have to buy a half pointer or something, but
no,
that's
consent. That's
no. Is
consensus,
it okay?
All these I got at 110 or better. I got one.
I only looked at one book today and I saw 7. So okay, that's good. That's good. So yeah, no points having to be bought. These are all your good old fashioned -110 bets. Or you said maybe better. Who'd you get better?
I think I got one. I think it's a points bet thing they try to entice you with. They put most of their consensus at -107.
Got it. Okay. All right. Good for points bet. All right. Let's get into the first one here. So Giants at the Vikings, taking Giants +4.5 here. So Seth, what do you think? What do you think?
I've been digging.
Is the driver behind this one?
I've been digging in the data. These are the most comparable teams ever. They both have bad defenses and are like average offenses. Now the interesting thing is, it looks like New York actually can throw the ball a little bit, which I was pretty surprised.
So can I clarify something? Bad defenses by what metric or metrics?
EPA.
Okay.
What are they on DVOA? For defenses.
This 16th for.
So middle.
Yeah, middle of the pack for Vikings and Giants are bad. 30th.
That's interesting. That's interesting to me. What does it say here? Oh no, that's PFF. The total DVOA on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
These weren't okay. I thought these were
29, but they're 15th in red zone defense. So I don't know. Okay. I mean, EPA is a little bit different. It takes all the plays, so I'm not surprised by that. That stratification is a little bit closer. I mean, they're both bad defenses, I guess, is what EPA wise.
Yeah.
I just think these teams are a lot more comparable than they're not. I think it's 4.5 too much. I think you're probably going to see, maybe a 3-point win. Now the model likes New York to win outright, and I'm probably going to sprinkle some money line here. After that game last week, it's hard to see how does Minnesota challenge New York like a good Washington defense, because we know that they don't really have a good defense. So
yeah,
they just gave up 30 how many points to one of the worst offenses in the league. Sure, you could argue they held them in the second half, but they gave up 33 points to a Matt Ryan that's dying. So I don't know. I
think 14 of those weren't 14 of those special teams or
defenses. Okay, well, if you give up more than a touchdown to Matt Ryan,
okay, I will give you that. Yeah, that's also fair.
I guess for this whole, they're elite. I don't know. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I like New York here. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line. The model says they're going to win outright. So I've bet the 4.5, and it looks like this is on its way down. I mean, right now you can get it on DraftKings 110 at 4.5, but everywhere else is 3.5. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is a game I have New York actually winning outright. I would not be surprised on, like you said, maybe a last second field goal for Minnesota, but they've given up points left and right. They've had a couple of miraculous comeback wins. I don't know how much more is left in the tank. I think this is just these, like you said it best. These are two comparable teams. I think 4.5 is way too much.
Yeah. And in the EPA unadjusted line is exactly 3. So Minnesota would be favored by 3. So, and this is the interesting thing. It's supposed to be hella crazy weather this week. I think all 3 of these games are inside dome games, if I'm not mistaken. So lucky us, because we don't incorporate weather. It's probably not as important for spreads as it is totals, but it is a funny point that I think is true.
Yeah, yeah. Giants plus 4.5. Yeah, I think I on the emotional level feel in line with that too. And I didn't get a chance to look at the output today yet, but you said what are they supposed to? What's the point estimate outright for Giants?
It is. Let me grab it really fast. It is Giants. Let's just go with the lower confidence interval. Giants by 4.9. The point estimate is -17.
Okay, so I think a little bit.
Again, that's why we use confidence intervals.
Yeah, exactly.
So they win by 4.9. That's the minimum. So it doesn't like Minnesota here.
Go Big Blue or whatever they say in New York.
Oh. No, I don't. They definitely don't say that. I don't know what they say. Do they say anything?
Blue? It's a blue man.
Get out of my way, dickhead. Go Blue is Michigan.
Is it? Okay. All right. Well, I butchered that. Sorry. All right. Next one, baby. Niners. Washington at the Niners. This one is not going to be, I think, cold weather as afflicted by the cold weather.
Yeah, that's right. This one is not. It's not afflicted by the cold weather. It's in.
But it is
It's in San Francisco.
Yeah, which is outdoors, but not going to be
Yeah, I think it's like 70 or something.
So Niners -7 here. Really, I think I'm surprised, and because I was down in Tucson again today for work, so I didn't get a chance to do much. But I'm surprised that this line is as tight, and I consider 7 tight in this instance as it is. How do you feel about that, Steve? Or what do you think about this game?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone loves a feel-good story, right? The Taylor Heineke story is absolutely phenomenal. I truly do think they got robbed last week against the Giants. Very, very, very questionable call, then no call on the goal line. But I think you see a team that's starting to click in jail, and I think that's kind of playing into some of the emotional sentiment of this matchup. But when you look at the stats, man, I don't know how you want to touch San Francisco, like or play San Francisco, I should say. Like that defense is otherworldly, and the machines and weapons they have on offense, it's going to be tough. So I mean, Brock Purdy has to just hike the ball essentially, and they're moving, they're making yards. So I like 7. We feel about double-digit spreads and whatnot. So I definitely wouldn't like it much more than this. But at 7, we'll love 6.5 obviously, but 7, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think 7's key here. I think 7 is key. I think you're going to get backdoored at anything else. I mean, you could still get backdoored at 7, but you have so many push possibilities.
Right.
So I don't know if you want, of course, 6.5, but that's how you use a model. The model says there's no need to grab it at 6.5. It likes them heavily. Now, even if you don't adjust for quarterback, I mean, an EPA spread has this at 10 and 10.5. So I don't know. You can call it value. Our model likes it.
Edge to be had, basically. Yeah.
I mean, we know that defense is probably the least predictive. We've seen that time and time again, but I think we're just going to see more and more of our homie, not Brett Rippon, whatever Zippy. No, not Zippy.
Purdy.
Purdy. Okay. Purdy. Yeah, there you go. If you put them all together, you get the superpower. Purdy getting more reps, getting more game plans for him and his strengths. I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't lean on him a lot here. I don't think they're going to try to, because Washington has somewhat of a good defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like kind of the same game we just saw, where it's a lot of running the ball. And who do you have? You have one of the best, if not the best, running back, and then one of the best defenses. So yeah, I like this. I like this all day. I mean, this is one of those scary things where I like all the picks. It doesn't hurt me. I'm like, yeah, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
But of all the big spreads this week, I'm happy to be on this side of it. Like, if you think of it, you have your peers, so to speak. You have Baltimore at 7, Tampa Bay at 7, and then this game at 7. And then you have the Bills. I think we're at 9 now. Of those, I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment. I think the only double digit, and just take it for what it's worth, but the only double digit spread is the Chiefs, I believe. Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah, sorry,
Chiefs.
I didn't do that one. Yeah,
Chiefs against the Seahawks. Seattle. Now there are 2 scored like 8.5 or 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 type of things out there, but yeah, I think this one. I agree, Seth. I feel most comfortable with this one out of those that we just mentioned. And what you mentioned also, Steve, about Purdy. I mean, they're not just putting him in there to hand the ball off to McCaffrey or to whatever. Like, dude is in there making plays and making throws. So he's either. I think it's more likely that he continues to have the playbook expanded for him, and Shanahan gets him in good positions, as opposed to defenses figuring him out and figuring that offense out.
I think the key there is that he does. He is, but he doesn't have. They don't need him to do that.
Yeah,
it's great. He should do that. He's a quarterback, but they have so many gadget plays and weapons and ways to get the ball into Debo, Christian's, Ayuk's hands. Like, he doesn't have to sling. He needs to be the prototypical game manager, and they're going to be fine. If he does all the stuff you're saying, watch the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
I think Debo's still out. Debo's definitely still out, so they'll be without Debo. But I don't know. And then I think they have some injuries on defense. But again, I mean, we're getting some points here. I don't know if this will move to 6.5. Maybe you think Washington. Maybe some people are.
You think it'll move down?
I know. I'm really don't know. I'm just telling you. Okay. Based off the metrics that are high level metrics, EPA, DVOA. I mean, pick your poison here. Or there's just beyond this, there's not too much proprietary shit that's going on for bettors. So I would be surprised if somebody's going to come in and lay crazy money on the 7. That would move it. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this goes up, but I already bet it. I took 7. I'll take the push opportunity at 7. I think there's still value there, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Well, yeah, we all like it, so we hate it when we all like a bet.
Yeah, we tremble.
But we like it nonetheless. All right, last one on the card this week: Falcons plus 7.5 at the Ravens this year, which should be, getting to your earlier points, that a cold weather game as well. So that'll be interesting to see. Again, assumes what?
Oh no, I'm wrong about this one. This is in Baltimore.
Yeah, this is in Baltimore. Cold weather.
Yeah, I was wrong.
So you were 1 for 3 on the dome.
Perfect. Just like all of my, just like the model.
Shout out. So again, this assumes Huntley starts for the Ravens, which as of right now, all signs are pointing.
Is this a Sunday or a Saturday game? I think this is a Saturday game.
Good question. I don't know. I think there's only 3 games on Sunday. Yeah, this is a Saturday game.
Yeah. Okay. So look, good news. It is sunny, not a cloud in the sky, but high of 20 degrees.
Windy, maybe.
No, not wind, not nothing. Sunny, but 20 degrees. A high of 20 degrees. So low of 9. So bundle up.
Exactly, them dirty birds might not have any feathers. Huntley's got to start, which it looks like he will, and then Desmond Ridder. I think he's essentially, I don't know if officially, but he's the starter for the rest of the season for them, right?
Yeah, and Mariota apparently has some knee injury or something. So
quote unquote,
he's not even with the team. So
right. So okay. So plus 7.5 here. I think it kind of scares me with Ridder because he hasn't put. There's not a ton of data with him, but
100%.
When you see 7.5, you maybe think backdoor a little bit. But I'm a little curious about this one and maybe what some of the drivers you think are going into this one, Seth.
Well, we know overall DVOA, these are pretty closely, but it looks like the run offense for both these teams is really what's driving their EPAs. So, yeah, it being cold as fuck though. I don't know how that translates, and then what goes on with Desmond Ridder. But one thing that's interesting is when it liked Huntley when they played the Steelers when they were away, but it does not like Huntley when he's home. So I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, we have a small sample size at play. I think he only played 4 or 5 games or something like that, and so he must.
Yeah.
He's struggled overall, but he must have struggled at those home games more, and that's why it's really weighting. Basically, Tyler Huntley is kind of bringing the team down overall. So we'll see. I mean, it being a cold as fuck game though, that's pretty gnarly. We'll see how that. It's hard you can't prepare for a cold if you're not in the cold. That's the big downside.
Yeah,
but no
true.
weather, just cold.
Just cold. And I didn't get a chance to dive deep. Maybe you guys saw this or can recall, but John Harbaugh answered some questions about the Ravens this week, like, oh, are you gonna be firing people, or you're gonna be laying off, or you're gonna be changing staff because there was quote unquote outcry amongst their fans because shit's not going the way that they want, or Tyler Huntley had a really bad game last week or last couple weeks, and they're thinking like, well, something's not going right. They're trending in the wrong direction, basically. So I think some of that
one of those games in division. Huh? They went 1-1 in divisional play. I mean, and Tyler Huntley got a concussion in one of those games.
Was it the Steelers game?
Steelers game, he got a concussion. They won, and then they lost to the Browns last week.
Well, that's what I was saying. I didn't get a chance to read the whole article, so I was hoping you guys, maybe one of you guys did. But yeah, he answered questions. So the Ravens have not, at least to their fan standards, sort of performed as expected as of late. So something to watch. There might be something there that.
What the fuck? Well, their fans are stupid as hell. Then I think they have 10 wins, don't they?
I think they have 9. Yeah, I think they have 9.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna owe Ryan $100.
You could.
I don't know. I mean, your starting quarterback's been out for 2 weeks. What do you want him to do about that? Like, firing somebody is not going to like bring back his knee.
No, and yeah, you're right. I got to find that article again because they've won 3 out. I mean, they've won 2 out of the last 3. Like, they lost to the Jags, which is not as shameful as it once was anymore. But yeah, they lost. They only put up 3 points last week against the Browns.
Harbaugh, you need a fucking trade for Flacco right now, man. Get his ass over here, man.
I know.
We need Flacco, a fucking real starter.
So I guess my point broadly is this one is not comforting one way or the other to me. I think there's a lot of unknowns, both in terms of the quarterbacks, or on both sides of the, for both teams. And I think it's when that's the case, a lot of weird fluke shit can happen.
A lot of fluke shit, and it's literally what's 2 starts for Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. So
or is it just 1? It's just his first.
Well, it can't. He would have to have at least 1 away start. Right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, it would. Or the model. I didn't update the model, but yeah.
So I don't know. Steve, do you have any strong feelings about this one?
No, I mean, I think this is 7.5. This is the classic, backdoor scares me. If you're on the other side of it. So, especially with Ravens defense, we've seen crazier things happen. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ravens up this entire game and then fourth quarter let down. Ravens win, but Falcons cover.
Yeah, I could agree there. So, okay, taking a look again at the whole card here. Seth, were you gonna say something?
I'm going for Brooke. I'm parlaying these 3. I've already bet them. I haven't bet 7.5 yet. I'm gonna bet it right after this, just because I think I don't know. You guys think if Lamar starts, it goes up? Does it go up more than 7.5? I almost think that I think the market thinks this is Lamar starting. This line doesn't make sense for Tyler starting. So I don't know. I'm a little bit there. So I'm just gonna gamble. I'm gonna take it, assuming that this market is for Lamar starting, and then if he doesn't start. Or if he does start, it's going to shoot down. So I'll have a little bit. Or
how are you also? You also took these straight, right?
No. Yeah, I haven't made the parlay yet. I haven't made the parlay yet. Yes, I have already bet 49ers and I've already bet Giants, as
Well,
it says there.
I
But,
don't think I have to ask. I don't think I have to ask how you feel about this week. It sounds like you're
No,
looking at 3-0.
I don't. I think the Falcons don't cover, honestly.
Really?
But I'm going for broke. I gotta claw fucking profit back. So I'm going.
Let's
for
go,
it.
baby. All right, Steve. Well, on that note, how do you any one of these feel better than the others? How do you think this week's going?
Yeah, love the like Steph said, love the GNs plus 4.5. Then I got the -7. So yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking, we've why not us? So yeah, let's go 3-0.
Let's go 3-0, baby. Let's
All right,
go.
I know we got to hop off, but let me build this parlay really quick. It's I mean, what's a parlay? I never do parlays. So what's a
for anyone who maybe is not familiar or haven't seen some of our other stuff and you're coming across this, we do not advocate, never have, never will to parlay the plays. Not because
unless you want to win money.
Not because it's a losing record, from the model this year or anything like
plus
that.
600.
Just like any parlay, essentially, when you're betting multiple games, you're taking independent events and making them dependent on each other, which makes no sense.
300 wins 1,800.
Okay, coach.
All right,
with that money, baby.
Yeah, all right, tune in next week.
And Brett Rippon,
next week.
Let's go, baby.
We're going for 3-0. We'll be back for week 17, baby. Until then, have a good weekend, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Be well.
Goodness.
See you all. Stay warm.
Peace.